Twirl's first question was, sometimes I get a vibe about a card wildly different from its meaning. What do you do when your gut clashes with your knowledge? I go with my gut. I go with my gut every single freaking time. You know why? Because when I do, I give and receive for myself the most incredible readings every single freaking time. So let's talk about this in practice. In fact, it's one of the things that I think is the most cool about the tarot. So the only time when I will maybe slow my roll on this is if I have a personal opinion that I think is interfering with my interpretation. So I'm reading for somebody and I think their boyfriend's a dirtbag, right? And the card I pull is the Lovers. And I'm convinced that means this person needs to walk away. I might need to second guess myself a little bit and ask if that's my personal opinion projecting into the reading or if that's gut. But outside of that scenario, right? If you pull a card for somebody, and here I have the Empress, and as soon as I pull this card, something about looking at this card or what was happening intuitively for me in that moment, what I'm feeling is that this person needs to, what's a good example? I've had it happen where like I'm looking at a card and suddenly I'm imagining dandelions or something, right? And I might say, when that happens, I try really hard to say it as soon as it happens, to say it out loud. Hey, for whatever reason, and maybe this is nothing, but I just got this really strong image of dandelions. Does that mean anything to you? Or maybe I pull a card and here we have the Eight of Pentacles. And I'm like, I think your life's kind of a mess right now, actually. You know, and I don't have a problem admitting like, hey, typically the Eight of Pentacles is actually about order and being a little bit perfectionist and doing the same thing and getting a result. But for whatever reason, when I pulled this card for you today, what I really felt was like that things are just a mess right now, that they're just in absolute chaos and you're not feeling like anything is perfected and you don't feel like you've got a groove about anything. I will say it every single time. And it's hard to do that because it really pokes at imposter syndrome. It really pokes at and asks you to trust yourself. It really can be uncomfortable because you're like, oh my God, this person's going to think I'm a crackpot. And it's especially hard if you're doing this when you're reading for somebody who you know knows tarot, which is why I will often give myself permission to say, hey, this card usually means this, just so you know. But for whatever reason, this is what's really jumping out at me right now. And this is what I'm getting from this. And I always give my anybody I'm reading for permission, like to interpret the card or to interpret from whatever I say based on their own intuition. I always remind them, like, you know yourself better than I can. So take what resonates. Like if this doesn't sound resonant, it doesn't have to be. I'm not going to be 100% right about everything. So take what works for you and don't worry about it otherwise. Yeah, Twirl says, I recently saw Danny read the Five of Swords as lashing out from a place of fear. I've never seen the card like that, but it was bang on for the reading. Exactly. And Danny and I have had this conversation a lot because she and I read similarly in that way. We have no problem. If we see something different in a card, we have no problem saying it. For me, it took a long time to get comfortable saying it. I know, Eight of Pence again. Isn't that weird? It took a long time to get comfortable, but as you practice doing it, I have gotten so much validation from clients where I just get something really random, I share it, and it turns out to be like exactly what they needed or to be especially like personally meaningful to them in some way. And so because of that, I don't stop myself now and I don't worry if it sounds dumb. I really don't. I'm like, and I'll say it. I'll say, hey, this might sound really wild and crazy, but here's what I'm getting from this. Take it or leave it. But like, that's what I get.